Anime gacha games have pretty much taken over the genre. Games like Genshin Impact, Blue Archive, Arc Knights, Uma Musume, Fate Grand Order, all somehow managing to increase in total revenue year over year and expand their active player base indefinitely. But no gacha game will reign forever. With games constantly evolving, engines ever improving, and new innovative ways of tackling the same already established formula, the gacha genre has continued to expand rapidly with no sign of slowing down anywhere in the immediate future, which is where I come in today. There are 9 new anime gacha games announced in the last several months that I believe have the potential to truly captivate a large audience and maybe even slay a titan or two along the way. Before we go ahead and jump into this video though, did you know that Valentine's Day was right around the corner? And I, as one of the most affluential commanders in our entire military force, have been sponsored by our local maid team to bring additional exposure to their cause. Other commanders, you specifically, have been tasked with aiding the Maid Cafe during their brand new Valentine's Day event. You'll be able to log in and participate in a login event. You can clear unique stages to win Valentine's Day limited life wallpapers exchanged for recruit vouchers and skill enhancement materials in the event shop. But most importantly, you'll be able to win the affections of 2 brand new characters, Coco and Soda, and get some pretty sick new outfits in the process. Coco is the hardworking leader of Made For You, while Soda is a bit of a neat freak in charge of keeping everything clean and organized. Both are incredible looking new characters and will be available until February 15th and February 21st respectively. Along with the new event comes a new mission pass and new packages that are admittedly much more cost effective than purchasing things separately. Don't miss your chance to spend your Valentine's Day with a cast of brand new characters and win some pretty sick prizes. Click that link in the description and the pinned comment below right now to go ahead, download the game, and play. Now let's take a look at what 2023 has to offer us as anime fans. Let's start this off alphabetically, beginning with Aster to Tarakis. This is a game that I am particularly excited for due to its supposed strategy elements. We're shown some gameplay, some cutscenes, and honestly everything looks so high quality and is just so fluid. It looks as though it shifts between a sprite graphical style for battles and full 3D when you're exploring towns and cities. Both the husbando and waifus look absolutely gorgeous, and it has very strong Fire Emblem feels to it. Reborn has the sci-fi aesthetic of Tower of Fantasy or Punishing Grey Raven with additional bright, vibrant colors, adding a whole lot more personality to the world. Very little has been revealed thus far, a single trailer only. The trailer showcased a large number of characters, most of which were very appealing. We saw characters engaged in combat, but were unable to discern whether the combat in question was action combat or rather an ability that was used as a predefined ability. Nevertheless, the world, the abilities, the characters, everything looks stunning. All that we need is for it to be open world as opposed to instance, and we have another hit on our hands. Dragon Sword is about what we'd get if Genshin Impact had a secret love child with Dragon Nest. Dragon Sword is the spiritual successor to Dragon Nest, yet also takes quite a few features from Genshin Impact and really adapts it in a way that feels unique, allowing players to scale large boss monsters and take advantage of various different weak points. Terrain interaction, even the combat looks absolutely insane. Admittedly, some of the best that I've seen in a gacha game, and given the studio's other gacha 100 Soul, I have very high expectations for Dragon Sword. Eastern Odyssey is arguably one of the most adorable Eastern gacha games I've probably ever seen, and at the same time, it is also one of the games in this list that I am most excited for. On the one hand, it's very much like another recent release, Eversoul. It's a game where you auto-deploy your units and they automatically engage enemies across a horizontal field, but like Eversoul, there seems to be a lot more manual content present within the game, like the ability to freely navigate areas and use abilities, which will no doubt become much more important the further you progress through the game. I love Chinese aesthetics, and this game really sells that for me. I don't think I found a game that really feels like a fantasy Chinese setting quite like this one does. Equinox is another gacha that I'm exceptionally excited for because much like my favorite gacha of all time, Arknights, Equinox is a strategy RPG. You deploy your unit to engage waves of enemies and attempt to overwhelm them before they subsequently overwhelm you. Or at the very least, that's what it felt like after having examined the trailer back a few months ago. I guess if anything, it kind of reminds me more of Path to Nowhere on kind of like a three-dimensional field. It's also set in a dark, post-apocalyptic feeling world filled with beautiful characters. I mean, what's not to love? Fractionist Decay is yet another tactical RPG, although the characters you'll find in this one are about as high quality as they come and very different to the typical anime models found throughout the genre. Characters are very Asian inspired, but they look like fully grown people, something that I found to be very uncommon in gacha games. Fractionist Decay also seems as though when deploying your units, you deploy them onto a three-dimensional battlefield, allowing for both horizontal and vertical movement with a camera angle that doesn't make the game feel flat. Graphically, the 3D models look great, the special effects, abilities look pretty good. It's refreshing to see more anime games utilizing 3D models as opposed to chibi models, despite how popular chibi models are. Grand Saga is actually a gacha MMO, much like Tower of Fantasy, although much more successful. Where Tower of Fantasy made $30 million in its first month globally, Grand Saga actually made $100 million within South Korea alone. Grand Saga is a tab target open world anime MMO where players seek out and obtain grand weapons that function like weapons do in Tower of Fantasy. Each weapon has its own unique character associated with it and allows for you to wield entirely different playstyles. This game has been out in Korea for roughly 2 years now and is finally releasing globally in 2023. It's about time too, we need more cross-platform anime MMOs. Project Nornium is what you'd get if you gave the Honkai team access to the Gundam intellectual property. It's essentially an action RPG with waifus in mech suits in space. While watching the trailer, which was arguably one of the better gacha trailers that I've seen, I was left pretty much speechless. The waifus in this game are phenomenal, the combat looks absolutely fantastic, the character physics are, dare I say, out of this world. This is the kind of gacha game that I really haven't seen before. It's essentially a third-person shooter set in space. I don't know if you can land on planets, if there are a variety of different space stations you come across, but we need more unique games like this. I'm not even really sure how to go about explaining what Twin Worlds is. We see glimpses of third-person shooter, we see full-action combat, we see it being a platformer, but also a horizontal brawler, a racing game. I feel like the Twin Worlds devs were like, what should we include in our game? And then some random guy just comes in and goes, yes. And that's what they decided to go with. Anything and everything they could conceptualize. And while a focus on too large a number of features is definitely a bad thing, I couldn't help but really be impressed by what I saw, because worst case scenario, you're still going to have a game with a lot of things to do, and with how good the characters in this game look, yeah, I'm sure it'll still find its audience. And that's everything. 9 absolutely incredible looking anime gacha games releasing in 2023. I'm honestly pretty excited because if even a couple of these end up as good games, they'll provide enough entertainment to really satisfy us until the other anime titles release the following year. This isn't everything that there is to look forward to though, as there are other gacha games releasing every month which I cover right here on this channel, and I urge you to be on the lookout for. This is going to be a very interesting couple years. But if anime gachas aren't your thing, don't worry, I got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now. One featuring a list of every confirmed gacha releasing in February 2023, and the other featuring a brand new Gacha in 2023 video series that I just started doing that I urge you to go ahead and check out.